but you can't start there. You can't start with, well, how do I make $1 million a year in this business? You can't start there, right? This is not about getting, right? Nobody cares what you want. If it's me or whatever, everyone is serving their own interest. They're trying to take care of their families. So I'm going to encourage you to ask a different question of, how do I serve? Who is it that I have the ability to help? Okay, so you're asking the question, how do I start a business? How do I start an online business? All right, let's just talk about that question in and of itself. And I'm going to propose to you that those are not good questions. You need to be able to ask a better question than that. Now, what would be a better question? One might be, well, how do I create a successful business? How do I create a profitable business? And you might say, oh, well, that's what I mean. No, this is not a game, right? You're competing against people, and if you're in a market, you're trying to go into a market, right? You're trying to take money out of their pocket. They're already in this market. And so unless this is a brand new thing, this is a brand new industry, whenever you gain something, it's probably going to be other people are losing clients. They're going to be losing customers. So this is not a game, right? You have to think about why, what your motivations are too. You need to ask better questions. I can't remember who it was that said, I read a long time ago, that if you tell me the quality of your questions, I can tell you the quality of your life. And so it's going to lead to better answers, because if I say, okay, how do I start a business? That's different than saying, well, again, like I said, how do I start a successful business? How do I start a profitable business? It's going to get you thinking about things totally differently. And the one thing that I want to make sure that you're leading to is, if you start saying, well, if you start by saying, how do I spend more time with my family? That's a great goal, right? But you can't start there. You can't start with, well, how do I make $1 million a year in this business? You can't start there, right? This is not about getting, right? Nobody cares what you want. If it's me or whatever, everyone is serving their own interest. They're trying to take care of their families. So I'm going to encourage you to ask a different question of, how do I serve? Who is it that I have the ability to help? By twisting that and getting it the focus not on yourself but on your customer and to your client, that's going to change things for you. You're going to start to look at it from their perspective. What is it that they're trying to accomplish? And it gets you to stop focusing on yourself. I mean, some other good questions might be, like you might say, well, how do I start an LLC? Of course, you want to do this legally. You got to make sure that you pay taxes. We're going to cover all that stuff. We're going to get very specific in all the details, but you really need to start by saying, how do I serve clients? How do I serve customers? There's a guy named Zig Ziglar, an old motivational speaker. He's passed now. He's fantastic, though. I encourage you to look at all his stuff. And he made a statement, this literally worth writing down. Now, when I say worth writing down, it means you need to grab a damn pen and write it down, right? You're going to have to take different actions in order to be successful at building a business different, because if you already knew how to do it, you wouldn't be sitting listening to me on how to do it. But he said, you can get about anything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want. So think about that. If you're helping enough people get exactly what they want, you can basically have everything that you want in life. And so that's what your business needs to be about. It needs to be about serving. It needs to be about finding that need, and the need it doesn't have to be complicated. A lot of my businesses have become very complex over the years, but it didn't start that way. It started very simplistically in my business when I sold insurance to people that were senior citizens that need to help them pay in case they went to a nursing home. It was more simplistic. And you start there. You understand, you put yourself into the position of that person, right? It's an old adage, a lot of people have heard it, that people don't know how much you know until they know how much you care. Put yourself in their position. That's going to help you. And it's going to be important because you're going to face all kinds of adversity as this goes on. And you need to be able to go back and understand, this is the person I'm trying to serve. This is the person I'm trying to value and give value to. All right, so let's talk about some good questions that you can ask yourself. Here's a good one. What is it that I know how to do that other people don't know how to do? That would be my competitive advantage, right? How about this? It's kind of what I'm doing with you, right? What life experience do I have that is kind of unique that other people don't have? And how can I give some of that knowledge to other people that enhances their lives and makes their lives better? All right, so I'm not selling you anything, but you get the whole point of the way that that type of a thought process helps with your business. And so if you're, let's say you're an electrician, there's a difference between saying, well, how come I can't get anyone to buy, anyone to hire me? Bad question, right? How about a better question of, if you're not getting hired, who would I have to become for people to hire me? It's a lot better question, because it opens your mind to possibilities. And that's really what you want to do with the questions. You want it to open your mind up to things that are positive. You don't want it to shut you down to things that are negative. And so I'd encourage you, and you have to be careful in doing that, because things are inherently negative, right? That is just the way that things are in our society. And also too, in a later video, I'm going to talk about talking to other people and how it's a bad idea to, as much as you can, you want to keep your mouth shut. I'll give you a little sample here though of why little things like the negativity of this world. There's a story about a crab in a bucket, and evidently this is true, although I've never seen it. Is that if you have a bucket and you put a crab in it, pretty much you can't keep that crab in the bucket. The crab will get out of the bucket. But if you have two crabs in the bucket, neither one can get out of the bucket. You go, well, why is that? Well, because as one is trying to get out, the other one reaches up and grabs him and pulls him back in because he's trying to get out. Right? And so that's inherently negative, right? And so don't make it worse with your questions. And so you're going to have to do this on your own to a large extent. I'm trying to help you. That's why you definitely want to make sure to subscribe to the channel so that when I have an opportunity to put out content, you know about it and that you can benefit from it. But ask a lot better questions. It's not a game again, right? The reasons that you're doing this, you could be a single mom. That my mom worked 3 jobs. Things were not easy for us when I was a kid, and she made it happen. That is her why. Whatever your why is, it's reason enough to take this thing seriously. And as I'll say to you 100 times, until hopefully it just becomes part of you, who you are, whatever's going between your ears, about 95% of your success is going to be based upon that, and is absolutely going to come out in your speech and in the questions that you ask. One little thing I'll throw out there, and this makes the difference between the people that are going to be really successful and the people that don't, is when I throw out an idea and I throw out something, that you take this and you go follow up with it. But there's a book called The Tongue, and it talks about how critical, or how much power we have in the words that we say, and how you have to be very careful the things that you say, even to yourself, right? Do not be negative to yourself during this process. The world is bad enough, and it's going to be hard enough, but you have the ability to do this, all right? If you've made it this far in the video, you have the ability to do this, but you're going to have to learn, number one, to first think correctly and get some of that poor thinking, some of that poor questions out of your brain, and then we're going to start building you back up, and we're going to give you the individual little things. This is exactly how you build your website. This is what you're thinking. This is how you get the traffic. This is how you think about social media. All of that is coming, but none of it will matter if you're asking the wrong questions when we get there. And so make sure to like the video. Again, you'll hear me say, don't be selfish. If this is helpful to you, it'll be helpful to other people. And you're going to want to comment, because if you don't comment, I don't know what you're thinking. And I don't know how I can be beneficial to you guys. It helps me as I'm trying to develop more content for you guys. And what's my why? I want to be helpful to people, but candidly, my kids hopefully one day will take a look at this. And just like I'll show you one day, right off to my right hand side of my desk right here is something that my dad wrote of different things in business. You can't climb, the ladder of success you can't climb with your hands in your pockets. All these little things. And he died when I was 21. He took a nap on my couch in my apartment and had a heart attack and died. And none of us know when that day's coming, right? And so I need to make sure, to the extent, if only for my kids, if no one else has ever benefited from this at all, at least for them, I need to make sure that I pass along the things that I've learned that work. And so looking forward to growing with you guys and getting to know what you're thinking, and I'll see you shortly on the next video. Thanks.